Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. So today we are going to be working. Actually, I guess I'm already on this. What grief, this dog is driving me crazy. We're going to be working on a few things. I am doing actually a lot of multitasking lately. So as you may see here on my screen, I've actually been doing some work on the mobile test utils, which you may remember we worked on a bit a few weeks ago. So I've kind of been wiring this up to kind of be able to expand what we're able to automate our testing with. So of course we were working with MS Test X before. I have a sample project that uses NUnit, one that uses XUnit, a XAM UI test. We'll be adding an UNO UI test to this as well. What is this dog doing? I think he's attacking my green screen. But yeah, so we've got quite a bit going on here to kind of help us automate our test and do that, of course, within the confines of an iOS or Android project. And this, is going to handle booting your simulator. In the case of Android, it'll actually install an emulator if there isn't one, like in a CI server or something like that. So it takes care of everything for you. So I've been working on that quite a bit lately. Yes, he's a very vocal dog. Very, very vocal. He says, "Give me attention. I don't care that you want to stream right now." But it is what it is. What can I say? And of course, oh, hello. He wants to jump on me now. What, you want to come up here? You want to say hi? Is that what it is? You want to say hi? Ugh. I think he wants to say hi. Oh, yes. Okay. And the camera has lost focus entirely, but yes. So he is just a little goofier this morning. In any case, so we've also got the UNO PR, so adding support for Prism for UNO, which should be actually a lot of fun. I know for me, hello, for me, it's definitely going to be a game changer where it's going to take my my wanting to use UNO to a whole nother level. Ugh. And it has nothing really to do with UNO itself. It's really always been, for me, I don't want to use a application framework unless there's something good behind it for actually building a maintainable app. Yes. See, there's the toy right there. Come on. Well, why don't you get this? Yeah, go chew on that. All right, chew on that, not a power cord too. Do that. He just doesn't want to leave me alone right now. I don't know what's... He's like, why are you talking to all these people? You need to pay attention to me instead. Silly dog. All right, so let's see if I can manage this. Wow, you were just very needy this morning. He normally just lays there. And doesn't do anything. Except when I'm streaming. Then he wants to be a pain. Alright, let's see if I can do this here. Ow! So you may get the comedy of me being attacked by a puppy here. What? Yes! You can't see it. Well, maybe you can. He's like coming over and biting my hand. Says, you will pay attention to me. Alright. So, in fact, while we're here, I know Death Knight is in the chat. So he actually has submitted a PR here to add some docs. We've had a couple of PRs lately, actually, to add some docs. So I think there was just a couple of missing fields the last time I checked. I think those should be in here now. So let's take a quick look at this. So this is the generic parameters class for dialog parameters, navigation parameters. Yeah, this is the default constructor. Sure. What do we have? Huh? Yeah, we don't really need to say paramref. Like, the paramref is like its own thing. It's not like, not really something. Hey, what? What? I know you don't need to go to the bathroom because you just went. He's just very unhappy I'm not paying attention to him right now. That's crazy, dog. All right. So yeah. So let remove the paramrefs from here. Ow. You know, puppies are cute, but they have very sharp teeth, and they love to bite. Okay, yes, yes, hi, yes, I see you. Ow! Oh, that hurt. Ow. They have very sharp nails, too. Alright. Oh, I guess Dependabot is doing some stuff. You know, I get all these notifications of bots that are doing things. Like, oh, you know, I have this bot that did a PR, that bot that did a PR. So I'm constantly getting all these notifications. Ow. Stop. Stop. Go lay down. Go lay down. Yeah. So Death Knight, if you can just make the change, you can say just key and value. There's no real reason, you know, just like you have key and value here, there's no real reason to do this as a parameter right here. So if you want to make that quick change, and then let me know, and we can merge that PR. But that's really the only thing that needs to be changed on that. All right. And then I know I saw Jerome did some work this morning. Pushed some changes here. So, oh, good grief. Pushed enough changes that whoa. Apparently he's messing with my desk now. Ow, stop biting me. Jeez Louise. This dog. Ow. Okay. Ay. So, we changed this. That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and hit viewed. Hit viewed. What changed though? You know, like, I wish it would show me, like, highlight what actually changed. You know, I do think, you know, if you've been following what's going on with Prism, and a lot has been going on with Prism lately, you know, I think this right here is going to just be absolute gold for one of the upcoming changes. So Brian and I have talked about it, and well, we both absolutely hate the logging interface that Prism has, and we hate it for several reasons. First of all, the name is just terrible. Nobody can actually pronounce it. You know, is it iLogger Facade, iLogger Facade, if it chewed. I don't know. I've heard all kinds of things. It's kind of funny. It's like you should at least have a name of a logger that people can like figure out what the heck it is. The second thing is it has a really, really terrible. I mean, it's simple, but it has a really terrible API. So, I mean, it's cool that it gives you an ability to do some filtering and stuff, but that's like the coolness like starts and stops there. Like if you have an exception, by the time you can intercept that exception in the logger, you've already done a toString or it's already been formatted. And if it came from Prism, now we've really stolen critical details that you would need from an exception that Prism encountered, right? And that's like the whole point, is you're trying to use this logging interface to get stuff from us. Well, that kind of changes a little bit. We've decided we're going to drop that entirely in Prism 8, and we're going to switch over to Microsoft Extensions logging, which, as you notice, is something that is just kind of normal when you're building Uno apps. So that's kind of an easy win. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I trust this. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe Jerome updated Uno or something. Good grief. Hey, come here. Take a chill pill. Do you need any extensions, configurations, and yes, to comply with coding standards to contribute? Hold on one second here. Give me a second. I will be right back, guys. Okay. So we will see how long I can get him to stay calm for. Probably about 5 minutes. If actually no, about 30 seconds. He's already back here biting my hand. What on earth? No, we are not chatting with Ed. What on earth? Let's fix that, shall we? That's just weird. For whatever reason, it did not update. Ow! That's very strange. Okay, well, I guess I'll just turn that off. That was... No, guys, we are not talking to Ed. We did that already. In any case, so before I had to take a puppy break here, so Voldemort Coding was asking, do you need any extensions or configuration of VS to comply with coding standards to contribute? Theoretically, no-ish. We do have an editor config that said that the editor config that's in Prism right now is overly simple and actually needs to be updated. So that way we get some, that way it's a little easier for people. That said, if there is a PR that you are, wanting to do, if there's an issue you'd like to take, definitely let me know. And we can, kind of talk about what you need to do. If you have any questions, I'm certainly happy to answer those. There are a lot of things, and certainly code style is a little less important for things like docs, and people complain that there aren't docs for stuff. So if there's something that you know pretty well, but we're kind of missing docs on, open an issue on the docs repo and let us know. Yes, hi. Hi. Why are you so rambunctious this morning? Why are you so rambunctious? You usually just kind of lay there. He wants to know, I think he wants to know who I'm talking to. Crazy, crazy dog. Ow! Oh, those are sharp nails. Yes. He is getting jealous. Very, very jealous. I'm getting attacked by a puppy this morning. It is a little comical, you have to admit. All right. So, here's actually kind of something that is, I didn't even realize this. Yes, what? You want to come up here, huh? Okay. Ugh. So, something I actually didn't even realize, and Jerome had to point it out to me, is that we do things just a little different on WPF than we do on Prism Forms. And Prism for Uno is going to actually be following more that Uno, or I'm sorry, the what did you do, dog? But we're going to be following more of the WPF approach overall, and even in the way that the application initializes. And kind of that critical difference, and this kind of came up, I noticed that initialize component was called in the apps constructor here. And if you look at WPF very closely, which obviously I hadn't, don't attack my mic. If you look at it closely, though, the difference is on Xamarin Forms. What we're doing is we actually initialize the entire application as part of the apps constructor. So that's where we're going through, we configure the container, we get everything registered, we call on initialized, all of that occurs in the apps constructor. So there's generally no reason for you to actually put anything in the constructor, because on initialized is going to effectively be the very last thing called by Prism, or it is the last thing called by Prism before you would get here. So when you do something, say in your apps constructor for Prism for Xamarin Forms, and then you have something in on initialized, you cannot expect whatever you had in the constructor to occur before on initialized, because on initialized would get called first. This actually occurs a little bit differently. So initialize component needs to be done in the constructor here, but on launched is, something that that's actually where we do all of the wiring up of the app. What are you doing, dog? Well, at least he's quiet, even if now he's trying to eat my keyboard and my desk. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, so what are you doing? What are you doing? And now he wants to chew on my hand. I don't know. Can we see that? No, it's just out of camera. Yeah, he's sitting there chewing on my hand like, rah, rah. My hand is on a bone. Well, there is a bone in there, but oh no! Don't chew on the mic either. It wants to chew on everything. All right. So there is a modules page. There is a module A. Crazy dog. Stop chewing on everything. Okay. Okay. So we have this initialization mode on demand. That's cool. Oh. All right. So I see here that we still have, we've renamed from iContent dialog to iDialog window, which is good. But what it looks like, I could be totally wrong. Oh my god. If you're not going to calm down, I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put you down if you don't stop. Rambunctious dog. I think he wants to be on video too. He wants to be part of this. Okay, go on. See if I can get a couple minutes. I know, that did not take long at all. He was back to whining. So one of the things I think we're going to want, and I'll have to see if maybe it's there and this just hasn't been updated, but Prism for WPF actually has an implemented iDialog window that's called dialog window. So that way you can just inherit from, dialog window, and you don't have to do this, basically. All right. So I'm going to come back to that. A couple dialogues here. You know, this is one of those things I really hate, by the way, where you have iModule Manager, and iModule Manager actually does have the module catalog, but we don't expose it in the interface. So a lot of times you either have to do like magic string kind of stuff, or you have to just inject both the module catalog and module manager. I really don't like it. I guess most of the WPF side would need some additions. I suggest. Any addition suggestions where to start? So WPF tends to be fairly stable. Like, what I would ask is, is there something in WPF specifically that you are wanting to tackle? I don't think there are that many open issues. Let's see here if I can get the right key combo here. So won't let me out. So let's take a look. Let's filter by WPF. What do we have? So we have the content, or I'm sorry, the container provider for XAML. There is an open PR for that. The XAML module catalog is broken. That really is, well, it's a .NET Core issue. Hello. Yes. Oh, the dog is crazy. He has now come up between the seat and the actual armrest itself in a very, very awkward position. But whatever. And then there really isn't a whole lot of open issues for WPF. Like, this one here would be a good issue. The only other kind of issue that's relating to WPF are to add these missing XML docs. So one of the things that Brian and I have kind of on our to-do list, it's really more of a to-do list than a roadmap, but on our to-do list is we want to, when we're generating every build, we want to be able to take the XML docs from the Prism codebase itself and generate an API docs site as part of our docs. So that way you get the written docs that kind of go through things in detail, maybe show samples and explain how to use things, and then actually have the API docs so you can go and you can explore and see things that way as well. Yes, dude. Yes. He's so jealous. So jealous this morning. All right. But yeah, this container provider really is the only good one other than the XML docs for WPF. But if you have an issue, something you'd like to see, definitely let us know. There is this, replacing the iLogger, whatever, to Microsoft Extensions logging. But Hussein has already said he will take care of that one. There's this move reference to Xamarin Forms mocks instead of the internal stuff that we have that Dylan said he's going to do. This one nobody can really do yet because I haven't updated. Well, in the main branch we haven't updated from 3.6. So this invoke on main thread async isn't there. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta do another puppy break here. Shall we try this again? You know, there was music at one point. What happened to it? Do you guys actually hear the music? I'm not seeing it. I don't hear it. Let's see here. Nope, no music. Should be. Oh, this is just like really quiet. You hear it now? Hopefully. Okay, now you do hear it. Okay. Alright, so where'd my mouse go? What screen did it get lost on? Alright. Yeah. So, so we were talking about this. When it comes to Prism, like, there are some things that are missing, for sure. There are some things that we'd like to do. Like this deep link navigation into subpages of a tab bar, that very few people really would want to try to dive into, because it's not a beginner issue, right? Like, you gotta really know your stuff to do that. But like a lot of the things that's close to done. Oh, that's great, Dylan. That's great. But like a lot of these issues that we have, we're actually blocked by like Xamarin Forms predominantly. So like if you wanted to fix this Xamarin Forms tab page switching, or actually, hold on, I don't know about that one. It's this one, the iNavigation aware in tab pages. This is like a 2-year-old issue or 3-year-old issue, right? Like, it's from 2017. Brian opened this with the Xamarin Forms team. I think here, this is actually, it always makes me laugh when I go to this issue, right? So let's go find it. So go Xamarin Forms 1336. Like, it's an old issue, right? So you look at the labels. Okay. Oh, this one isn't the great one. But you had like partner, proposal open, high impact, and then they just don't do anything. So it's a high impact issue affecting a partner, and they don't do anything. Like, awesome. I think this was maybe that one. So, oh yeah, see this one. This is the other one that like really cracks me up, right? So this is still open. This is from April of 2018. So you have excellent report. You don't ever see them do excellent report. It's funny, but they do like excellent report. It's a high impact. It affects a partner. It's a bug. It sat there from 2018. The only reason that you see it in progress right now is that it was affecting hot reload. And because it was affecting hot reload, they're like, oh, I guess we should actually do something about this. Gotta love it. Anyway. So back to this. Yeah. So yeah, so this is actually kind of like a funny little thing. So, you know, I told Jerome I wanted him to kind of follow a little bit of the Prism Forms sample app or end-to-end app, right? It's our little test app. And part of it is it has modules. There's like a module page. You can tap on a module to load the module and all that. And so that's what he's done here. And I was trying to figure out yesterday, it's like, you know, I've always kind of had like some bugs on that page. You know, I fixed that stupid bug and then it came back. I don't know why I cannot get OBS to be reliable with this. In any case, thank you for the follow, White Sandler. I do appreciate it, my friend. Yes, anyway. Yeah, so I was actually, I was saying, I was noticing some issues. So I've kind of got the same, you know, enumerable of iModule and all that. And we do the whole loading of modules, but I could never get the darn status to display. And then it occurred to me why. Because the way that I implemented the iModule info, no, I've definitely seen you around, but I do appreciate the follow here on Twitch as well, my friend. So actually, I noticed on Xamarin Forms, the way that I implemented iModule info, or re-implemented it, really, I had made the state an explicit value from, you know, the interface. So it's not actually on the object, it's like it's there but it's not, kind of thing. And so it wasn't getting picked up in the binding. So that was fun. It was very fun. It wasn't fun, it sucked, but I redid that in the region PR or region branch I'm working on, and so that actually is fixed. In any case, so yeah, that looks good. Pretty basic thing here. You know, I see this a lot, by the way, in WPF land, and also kind of UWP land. Like, you have a grid, nothing in it, and then you just have like one element, like a list view. I'm like, why didn't you just make the list view the parent element? I don't. Whatever. Yeah, if there's a reason for it, I'd love to know what it is. Like, I'm not trying to pick on Jerome, but I'm just curious why I always see that. You know, it's almost like there's an unwritten rule that the first element within your page must be a grid. I don't know. Alright, so you have these interaction behaviors. Yeah. So this is something I really do like, and it's not Uno's fault, by the way. This is entirely Microsoft's, because, you know, they cannot follow their own conventions. So you see things like this, right? Like this schemas, Microsoft.com, expression blend, and WinFX, blah, 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 right? Okay, fine. So it's cool that we get these, but then they don't stop to think that, hey, we might want to do something outside of the core framework that maybe we want to bring into the existing namespace, or we want to be able to add a new namespace, but no, they can't think about that. So, you know, the only benefit, and as far as I know, at least with UWP and Uno, it works across assemblies, is that you can do this using and then the namespace rather than CLR namespace, because that's just god-awful ugly in Xamarin Forms. Anyway, yeah. Automation ID, it's beautiful. And you ask, why did Jerome do that? Because we're actually UI testing, which is so awesome. I love, by the way, to not only have the Uno team partnering with us to bring this PR to the community, but also that they've taken the time to make sure that we have testing on this. So modules page, yep. That's a very complex thing. Let me complain about something on here. I'll complain. You didn't get rid of unused namespaces. I really should complain about that. That's like a pet peeve of mine. It really is. Alright. Yeah, no, that looks good. Constants. Yep. Just guessing, maybe if you apply defaults like margin to grid and okay. Yeah, but why don't you just do that to your page? I don't know. Whatever. You know, it's one of those things that maybe there are some good reasons for doing it. But what I find more often is you'll have a sample that does something like that. And the person who wrote the sample was like, just not even thinking about it. They're like, yeah, whatever, right? I'm just trying to get this stupid thing out. And then people see the sample and they take that sample as gospel. And because they've taken it as gospel, whatever they do going forward will always be that. Every time. Like, they will always go, okay, I have to do the grid because I saw it in a sample. They never actually stop to think about, is there a reason, like a real reason that I should be doing this? You know, I just realized, maybe I'm dense, but I just realized that that little like thing with the social media thing is really hard to read. Like, I need to bring back my old one. Anyway, it's just one of those squirrel moments. One of those squirrel moments. Okay. So some defaults for UI testing. You got your query. Wait for element. Can we normalize the spacings here? It's outdated. Okay. I'm looking at an outdated PR. I'm guessing Jerome probably pushed something while we're doing all of this. Let me go back down to wherever it was. Module test, here we go. Yeah, can we normalize the spacing here? Looks like Jerome was using tabs. looks like we're mixing tabs and spaces. So no matter where you are on the tabs versus spaces issue, and remember, if you are tabs, you're wrong, but no matter where you are on that issue, mixing them is really bad. Everybody should agree about that. Alright, hello world. I'm guessing he had to have updated, or something. Linker config. Hello world iOS. Yep. Yep, Jerome, I did see that. We actually just reviewed that or took a look at it a couple minutes ago. So our application commands. Yeah, and then I was just coming down on the tabs versus spaces things where we had some mixing in the UI test, it looked like, because as I was reading it and like this is like a better or worse, but like GitHub, like it is very noticeable if you have tabs on some lines and spaces on others. Like you can't tell. Like this in the IDE, I always enable the like view invisible characters, so I can see if there's a tab or if there's a space. I can see if it's a just like /n, or you have like /r/n, like what is your line naming type. I can see that. So I like to keep everything normalized. I also get rid of the /r because I just don't like it. The editor, yeah, I don't know, that's strange. Very, very strange. By the way, Jerome, if yeah, it always should. I think the editor config might need some updating. I think it was very, very basic when Brian added it, because when it was originally added, Visual Studio actually didn't respect editor config at all. So we might need some updates there. I certainly trust, you I trust that you are someone who can look at that project and go, okay, here are the rules that these guys are trying to follow, and if there are some edits that need to be done, I'm sure you can do that. Kind of on my to-do list anyway. A lot of things on my to-do list, for sure. So last night I was kind of pinging Jerome about the modularity, and trying to explain like, hey, we really want to use the modularity implementation from Xamarin Forms rather than from WPF, just because we are kind of deploying to the same primary targets, right? Like iOS, Android. You do have UWP in there, though I think there's probably more people in the camp of I want to deploy to UWP if they were going the Uno route versus the Xamarin Forms route. Pure conjecture on my stance, but I will say in all of the years of my consulting on Xamarin Forms, I've had like one client that actually wanted UWP, and they didn't even want to use Xamarin Forms for it. They just wanted like a straight UWP app. I had other clients where I'm like, hey, you know, you can go to UWP and then your workers in the office have it on their desktop. And they're like, yeah, we don't want that. Like, okay. Never mind then. Yeah. But there is something that, yeah, this is Sparta, exactly. There is something that we do in Xamarin Forms that might be nice to actually bring to Prism Uno. Jerome, I think you would really know better than me, like on the proper way that we could do this. And I would have to kind of look at some of the extensions. I know for well, and I'm actually not sure how well this would work in general, but in WPF land, we have a problem that we don't really know what should be registered for navigation and what shouldn't, because like based on type, we could do some inference based on namespace, so we could say, hey, if this is in the views namespace, then go ahead and register it. Like if it is something that could be navigated to, and it's not abstract. But in Xamarin Forms, we have like this auto load or auto register attribute. So you could tag either the application or you could tag the module with this auto register for navigation attribute. And the cool thing about that is, you know, let's say you have, like here, obviously you just have one page, not a big deal, but maybe you have a whole bunch of pages. And so now you can just add this one attribute and everything gets automatically registered, and, you know, it just works. I'm kind of feeling like that might be, auto registration is pretty expensive if it's done through reflection, yeah. Generally better to generate the code. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, Jerome. That would be a great, that would be a really, really great thing that we could do through a build task. So if someone would like to figure out MS build, I mean, I know it well enough to do it. I know Jerome does. But maybe we could do a, you've got Uno source gen for that? Yeah. That would be a great feature to add, where we could do that auto registration at build and kind of scan everything at build and just modify either your module or the application at build. That would be fantastic. I actually really love that idea. And if someone would like to go and add that as an issue on GitHub, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, I'll try to do it when I remember. That is a great idea. I love it. Yeah. All right. So that looks good. Module page A. Yep. Okay, the module catalog. Okay, so this is from forms. Yep. Okay. Depends on, yep. So, Drum, this is actually not this is not limited to forms. This is actually a bug that I finally realized last night. I was like, why am I never getting the state to show up? Like, this is really stupid. And then I looked and realized that I'm an idiot and was binding to something that was explicit. So that's not bad. the working branch I actually have right now on this, I made the fix on it. Basically, what I did though, I did this a little different because the reason that this was explicitly done like this, or was an explicit property, was I didn't want somebody to try to set the state. I want to prevent people, because there is still the API that you can manually create a module info and set the state, and I don't want you to do that, which is why it was explicit. The same with the ref property, like, because we don't actually use it. So there's just no reason, like, I didn't even want to expose it on the module info. So when you're going like new module info, I don't even want you to see the property. Like, we require it, but we don't want it there. But the module state, like, what I did was I have a public property that has a get, and then a private set, and then basically the explicit version just kind of maps to that property. I hope that made sense. Oh. Well, never mind. Here. Alright, so let's leave a comment. So let me explain this. Okay, so we don't want people to even see the ref property since it isn't used. The state property was actually a bug as well for forms. This should be done a little different though. So what we want to do is we want to have public module state, and then we're going to have a get and a private set, and then module state, iModule info state. Then we'll go, and we'll say state equals value. Okay. That way, when we're working with it as an interface, we can still get and set, but we don't want people that have the raw object to set it. This is a property they should be setting. They manually struct the module info. Okay. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Perfect. Good there. Invoke command action. Cool. You know, I keep wondering here, because if you look, like, let's go take a look at essentials. I guess I don't go to it enough in this really crappy browser. Let's go to it here. So if we look at essentials, and I do the same thing in my projects as well, typically. Generate a permalink here. Say splitting out the target. Okay. I mean, otherwise this all looks fine. Okay. Looks good. Okay, so this all looks good. You know, I mean, the one thing I kind of keep coming back to, and I feel this way about, like, we're not doing this on WPF, but I keep wondering if maybe we should. So, my issue, like the issue that I have here, is should this be sealed? Right? Because do I really want people messing with onLaunched and then forgetting to call base onLaunched in the right place? You know, I almost feel like it's easier to control, like if we seal this and then just give you something that, like, we could pass you the launch activated args. But I don't know. I'll think about it. Okay. Something to think about. And I've always hated this. Like, I think Brian really screwed up when he did this. And if he's hiding in chat, I would tell it to him to his face. So don't think I wouldn't tell him to his face. But I've always thought that this was a royal screw up. Configure viewModel locator should have actually had the view and the type as arguments, and configure viewModel locator should be the one, like when we call configure viewModel locator in the initialize, like where is it? Somewhere. What the heck is it? Configure viewModel locator, where Maybe it happens. Oh, right here in initialize. It's like the first thing we do. So instead of calling configure view model locator, what we should do is actually call view model location provider set default view model factory, and then that like configure view model locator should be the factory. Something I have to talk to Brian about. We need to like change that convention. And I think it's something we can safely do because the number of people who actually override that are like Alan. Like it's few and far between. I barely do it. I'm not gonna say I never do it. I have done it, which is rare. I think the last time I actually overrode that on a real project, God, it was probably 2 years ago now. Working on a project with my man Lyndon Huey, and he found a really cool plugin, and I can't remember what the plugin was now. I think it was Slide Out or something like that. It was from Michael Ridland and his team. It was one of the open source libraries that they have. But it was like a slide out page. But in order to handle that, because we kind of had like these mini regions, like it was seriously an app that I wanted regions so bad on that app. I had to hack so much crap because we didn't have regions. It might have actually taken less work to just do regions. What are you gonna do? Alright. Alright, so we got our module catalog. What do we have? Shell. This all looks good though. You know, one of the things I love about this, and I'm glad I went around and around with Brian, because Brian was always very, very, well, we got the bootstrapper, like you just use the bootstrapper on WPF. I'm like, I understand that's what you do. Thing is stupid. It was stupid. It is stupid. Now, in WPF land, you do kind of have this thing where the bootstrapper can potentially be necessary, because people do write plugins where they're using Prism. So for those cases, and only those cases, a bootstrapper is pretty important because you don't actually have access to the application itself. However, for everything else, it's a very different story. Yeah. Alright, so we have these register, okay. Good. You know, I find it so funny that there's like 3 mappings here. Okay. So I'm going to bring up this Excel spreadsheet. So I was putting this together. I'm going to make it a little bigger here for people, in case you're blind like me. There you go. So I was going through this over the weekend because, like I said, I'm working on regions for Xamarin Forms, and so it occurred to me I should probably figure out what controls might people want to use the regions on. So content view frame, that's basically very, very easy win. Refresh view, which is built on top of content view as well, easy win there. Cool. Swipe view technically will use the same content view region adapter by default, but I don't know that will be a very good one. There will probably need to be one made for it. The grid I just don't even want to think about. Carousel view, I will end up at some point writing an adapter for it and putting it in Prism, because I will want to use the carousel view with regions for sure. Same with collection view as well. Both of those are going to be pretty much a huge pain in my butt. Stack layout goes without saying. I don't know. Oh yeah, the scroll view one, that's going to be an easy win because there's really nothing to it. Like, it's basically the content view region adapter renamed. The only reason I can't reuse it is scroll view inherits from layout and content view inherits from view. So there is that. It does kind of suck, but it is what it is. So we'll actually have a few more implementations here. Get this layout view, yeah. Then there's flex layout. Again, why am I going to do it? Well, I'm doing it for stack layout. It's going to be the same darn thing, so who cares? But that'll be cool. Be very, very cool. I am very much looking forward to regions and Xamarin Forms. It's going to light up so many possibilities. But that's where all of that kind of comes in. I also really hate this, by the way. Like, I hate that you get the configure region adapter mappings, but we don't pass through the container provider. Actually, give me 1 second here, guys. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to say I realize there's a break from the WPF implementation. I cannot spell, apparently. Luckily, the computer can. Okay, so let's change the method signature here to pass in the iContainer provider. To call the container explicitly. Okay. We don't need to do that here because here we're just passing in a type. Okay, and I do like that we did this, by the way. So this was a comment I made to Jerome earlier about, you know, every single, like, and I mean every single time I've seen a UWP app, which, granted, I don't see as many UWP apps as I do Xamarin Forms apps, but every single time, like, every template, like, you always see in the constructor, they hook onto the suspending event and create an onSuspending. And I just thought that was stupid. Like, okay, if we're going to give people a base application that they can inherit from, for the love of God, can we just give them a method, an onSuspending, that they can just override if they need to do something, rather than trying to tell them to hook into the event? Like, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, okay. I'll bet this is like where probably most of... Oh no. I was thinking of something else, never mind. I'm brain dead. I was thinking for some reason that this was like the resources, and I was like, why do we have Android resources? What? Apparently I did not have it. Well, actually I didn't have any coffee this morning. Trying to cut down on the caffeine. And the puppy is back at it. He's like, oh, I see you're trying to feed me, but you need to feed me faster. Love it. Actually, let's see. Maybe I bypass. So this is the dialogue service. Where is... I'm going to jump. Dialogue service. iDialogue service. Okay, here we go. Such a loud dog. All right. All right. So that looks good to me. We're getting closer. We're getting closer here. Select your item source, sync behavior. See, this is like one of those things. So you're on the Windows team at Microsoft, and you go, okay, hey, we have all these WPF developers, but we want to give them something better. Let's make UWP. Why do you change things? Like go from logical tree helper to visual tree helper? Like, you just make it that much harder to learn something new. Like, these subtle differences. Yeah. So that's still pending. Sure, whatever. Don't care about that. iDialogue window. Say, are we planning to add a default implementation of iDialogue window like on WPF? Well, actually, let's just say, can we add it? Yeah. Make things easier for people. And then you just tell people, don't worry about the darn interface, just inherit from dialog window, call it done. Alright. See, this is where I really, of course I'm biased because I wrote it, but I like the Xamarin Forms version so much better. I didn't complicate all that crap. Did Brian really duplicate that? God. Such a pain in the butt. What exactly is the difference? When their name is Mal. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I would have done things a little differently here. And I'm not blaming Jerome, because this looks to me that show dialog, and I bet if we go look at the WPF implementation of the interface, right, you probably have this method and you have this method. I would have done this method by extension. Like, this would be the actual interface, this would be a bloody extension. Less to work with. Anyway, whatever, no big deal. That looks fine to me, though. Okay. So I think we've pretty much gone through this. That looks all good. Let's scroll all the way back up to the top here so I can do some stuff. Alright. So we're going to look at this. What did we yell at Death Knight about? Now I can't remember. It was so long ago, I can't remember what I yelled at Death Knight about. We'll see. Oh yeah, it was like a type param thing in the description or whatever. Well, I don't see it anymore, so it must have been resolved. Okay. Looks good. Thanks for the PR. Cool. Go ahead and merge that. Oh, and actually, we can go back here one more time. Yeah, review changes. I need to request changes. Pending comments here. Blowing up people's email here. You know, there is one thing I'm very confused about on this PR. Why is it a draft? Okay, anyway, so now that we've kind of done that, I'm gonna go peek at code. So I have pushed some stuff up here. There is actually a branch, so you can see this WIP regions branch here. And so we come in here. Of course, I'm doing this the hard way. So you notice that there is a new Forms regions project. And we kind of talked about this, Brian and I did. And there is an argument to put it in Forms. There's also an argument not to. The reality of it is, regions, for as hugely beneficial as they are a pretty advanced topic, and something that most developers probably will not understand in Xamarin Forms land. And it does complicate things quite a bit, because you have to remember that when you're working with regions, we're dealing with something that we've complicated your navigation, right? So you now have navigation to views within views, which is what region navigation is all about. You have a parent view, and then you have a region within that parent view that you are going to navigate additional content into, or change, maybe you're adding content, maybe you're switching content out, all kinds of things that you might do. This was actually kind of the use case that I had for the app I was mentioning earlier, where I was working with my good friend Lyndon. And what we had was, we had a design where you had a menu. So you had like a menu bar on the bottom, then you had a menu bar on the side, and that menu bar on the side was like a flyout kind of style menu. But it wasn't, instead of being like hamburger menu on the left, it was like on the right. So that was fun. But content in there could change. Like the menu on the bottom stayed the exact same every single time. But then you had like this, you had a region in the view, and that was what actually changed. And so if we had region navigation, we could have changed out the primary content region, and then we could change out the flyout region and been just fine. We didn't have that ability though, so it kind of sucked. It is what it is. It is what it is. So let's go ahead and check this out. So we put this in its own project just to kind of make it where you can bolt this on. Now this did kind of present some challenges for me, because like, we can't wire this up automatically for you, so you have to call something. So okay, as you can see, to enable regions, we're not registering one or two services. We're registering a lot. I mean, this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different services that have to get registered just to enable region navigation. And this is basically the full WPF style region capability. You get your navigation journal and all that crap. But then the other thing is, we don't have, that might be why. Anyway, so we don't have, like, there were some methods we were kind of taking a look at before, where you had, configure your default region behaviors, you can configure region adapters, right? Well, we can't put them in Prism application base if this is a bolt-on. So I kind of did this through some extension methods. Now, this may change. It may change. I don't know. A lot could happen between now and when this actually gets merged. One of the things I actually did change, I think, was I started passing... I changed... What was it? The action here. So right now it's just the region adapter mappings. I actually did change that, so you also pass in the container provider. Because, I mean, it's easy enough for me to pull it off the app, but I don't want to make you do that. I want you to be more explicit about, hey, we're using the container provider kind of thing. And so you can see, we have like all these different mappings and all this. But there is a lot of code. In fact, oh yeah, I'm not using the good browser. Here, let's do this. Got to figure out what window it's coming up on here. Prism forms. Oh, hold on. it has slightly frozen. It's like, you want me to load what now? Oh, and I know this is like a total kind of like squirrel thing, right? But I'm really good for those. So I am curious what your guys' thoughts are on this. This is kind of a little demo. Well, I don't want to say demo. This is something I've kind of been putting together as a possible new template. And so this does a few things. You'll notice I have my images here. So like here's my logo, if that'll open. I really hate in Visual Studio it does like a green mask. Ugh, it's ugly. So you got your logo there, right? You can see like I have my JSON configurations for this. And if we look in my platforms, you notice that this is actually organized, right? So I have my core code, I have modules, and there are actually 2 modules in here. But if I come in here and I look at my resources, you notice that there isn't anything, right? Like there are no images at all. Like the logo gets generated at build because I'm using mobile build tools. You know, same thing for iOS. You know, but I have things like I have my application in here. I have a splash activity. This wires up. Oops, wrong one. You know, so this is initializing Xamarin Essentials for the things that we are using Xamarin Essentials for. We are using Shiny. We are initializing Shiny. Shiny all things. We are using Fody. This does actually mix in. So if you look at this, right, Reactive UI. So we are mixing in Reactive UI and Prism together. We have strings. There's actually a localize extension, which is pretty cool, right? So this does the whole, I'm going to use the container to kind of, you know, bring in this singleton of my iLocalize to get the key. And this localize service, well, it's actually not implemented there. I think it's implemented over here. Yeah, regex localize. So the cool thing about this is this is a modular friendly service, right? So I can define the interface in shared code. And what you'll notice is I can register a resource manager. So what that means is in here, if I go into my modules, you'll see I have my iLocalize. I inject it into my module. Once we've initialized, I register the resource manager for its local strings, right? So that now means it will have access to anything I define in here as well. So I can add new things that I need to. Now, of course, if you're duplicating keys across modules, that could be potentially bad. I'm not going to lie. But this does kind of give you, you know, an ability to very easily have a localized app. You're up and going with Shiny. This is doing a whole auto register for navigation, which we were talking about with Jerome earlier. I really love that idea. In fact, before I forget, because I will forget, and I don't think anybody created the issue. Hold on. What is this? Expose schema on endpoint? I have no idea what on earth you're talking about. Close that. Guys, if you're going to open an issue, just, you know, have a thought that's actually thought through, you know. Don't don't imagine that I am just going to read your mind. So let's talk about adding a build time code gen. Whoa, that was weird. Code gen for auto register. Oh yeah, let's do this. So this is why I get nothing done and get a lot done all at the same time, is because I'm all over the place constantly. So it looks like I'm doing nothing, and then I like release 20 things at once. All right. So what we want to do, we want to add some build. Oops. Let me think about this. So what did I just say? You have to kind of think about this, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually take Jerome's comment. All right. Intended use case. Now, so when someone's using auto register for navigation, we want to generate So I mean, this gets a little complex because of some features that I have in there, but that's fine. We can come up with something for it. When someone's using auto register for navigation, we want to generate the code at build rather than waiting for runtime reflection to improve. Okay. So Waldemar, if it's in the region's namespace, leave it alone because you're going to code conflict me like crazy. That is actually a kind of a pet peeve of mine as well. So it is something I do clean up from time to time. If your PR is nothing but that, you probably won't merge it. But you know, if you're in there adding docs to a something that you have going on, or it's a related thing, then make the change. So it's one of those things. Generally we just leave it alone, but at some point that will get cleaned up. I wouldn't worry too much about it though. I really wouldn't. So let's see if I can grab that. So kind of what we were talking about there is this guy right here. So there's a lot here, because this kind of this all goes back to the Microsoft patterns and practices days for Prism, where if you ever notice, Microsoft loves to put these headers at the top of their code files, and that got removed, but the spacing between the header and the usings didn't. I've always thought that was stupid. I've been removing it as I can. Of course, I also do things too, like I like more like the Lambda type assignment, you know, where I don't want to say return. I don't want these brackets. I just do like little like equal and then greater than. Like, okay, here we go. In fact, I basically get rid of all of this. So, like, all of this... In fact, I did make this change on this file. So, like, this particular... What did you miss? Brian, you've missed everything, my friend. You have missed so many of my pet peeves. Like, the spacing was a huge pet peeve. Code format, huge pet peeve. So we were actually just filing a new issue that you're going to be like, oh, God. And I'm going to be like, get to it when I get to it, if I get to it. But, you know, it's more of, in fact, I'm going to put a help wanted on here. Because if somebody wants to help out, I would love for somebody to do this because I don't want to do it myself. Maybe we can get Jerome to do it because Jerome was talking about it. But yeah, so it's basically, and this is literally Jerome's comment earlier in chat, was that auto registration is pretty expensive if done through reflection because we're iterating through all types. It's generally better to generate the code for that instead, which he's right, it is. It's way better. So what I'm thinking is maybe at some point we'll have a way to do that. It's not going to be a tomorrow thing. Probably not even a today thing. Well, or a day after thing. Yeah. Anyway. So we got that. Let's... Oh, yeah. Close that out. So let's work a little bit on regions. So this has kind of been fun. It's not fun. I've had a huge headache from this. I'm not going to lie. And there are a lot of little things. So Brian, like I'll recap a little bit here. So let's see. This was pretty easy, right? Like, okay, hey, if you install Prism Forms regions, you're going to get these additional registration methods that, just like you're used to, I literally copied them from the other file. Change page to view, call it a day. Somehow it didn't conflict, which I was kind of happy about. I might remove these and just make the other ones view. Anyway. Then we have this. So this is where we have a little bit more fun, right? Like, it's things like, what do we call this, right? So you're in... Oh, I shouldn't have opened this one. This is like, because you can't actually see the application of it. Yeah, I went on like a whole awesome app craze last night. Making a bunch of test apps for something I'm working on. Preparing solution. Okay. So it's easier, I think, to see it here. So basically, here's what I did. Whoa. Let's not uninitialize. We should probably clean up some of those darn comments. So basically the flow right now is in register types, you have the container registry, you're going to say register region services. I really hate that name, but I don't know what else to call it either. So, yeah. You'll notice that there are no regions to find here because there's a module. I love modules. Modules are awesome. So here are my here's the module. Here are my regions. So that just works. It's beautiful. But then if let's go back to the application. Expand this back out. I really hate this. Like, I'm so tempted. I just want to like delete all of this, but at the same time, like, those are all valid things that we kind of want to test at some point or other. Anywho, So what I have here is basically we have an extension off of the application class. Since we can't add configure default region behaviors and we can't add configure region adapter mappings to the base because we have separated regions into its own package, the best I could do was a yeah. I'm like brain dead right now. But yeah, so the best I could really do is like some extension methods there. So kind of for demo, like I just show like here's how you would use this, right? Now I did make a couple of changes, and this was also something that I proposed that we do on the Uno thing, and we really should do this on WPF as well. So configure region adapter mappings right now, it only takes the mappings, which is really retarded because then you have to explicitly call a container from the application, which you really shouldn't do. We should be passing in the iContainer provider for you to resolve what you need to resolve with the mappings. Don't pass the container. You don't like passing the container. See, but you need to improve the mapping API. Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you there. I'm not a huge fan of it myself. I mean, I would rather do mappings.register mapping, like refresh view and refresh view adapter. Like, that's really what it should be, in my opinion. Hey, we were thinking the same exact thing. Yeah, we were thinking the same thing there. Yeah, but you know, I absolutely hated as I was going through the WPF version. I'm like, why are we using the bloody container here every time? Yeah. Well, you're welcome for the container provider. All right, or actually, it's the container locator. Anyway. Okay, so we have that. Let me come in here. So I need to see what I actually register. My map. Okay, so we have all that. The region manager registration behavior. So I need to see if I ever attached this. Let's come in here. I was going to put breakpoints all over in here until I hit something. On updating. Alright, let's try that. We're going to try running this. I think. Did I? It's not. What's going on with this? Devices. Oh, there it is. Okay. I just need to unlock it. Yeah, so you can see I have like the full thing. And there is like where I could, I mean, maybe you can't see this as well, but where I could, I'm actually referencing the code directly from Prism for WPF and deleting spaces. Because they bugged the crap out of me. but I've tried to kind of keep this a little bit better organized. I've also split up some things here. So if you look at the WPF implementation on Region Manager, it is just a monstrosity. And a lot of what's actually in the Region Manager is, shall we say, XAML based. Hey, no problem, Death Knight. Thank you for the PR, my friend. So a lot of it is really all about XAML. So it's not actually about the implementation of iRegion Manager as much as it is providing some bindable properties and stuff like that. So what I actually did was I split this up and I put it intentionally in the XAML namespace because I don't want everything in the frickin' regions namespace coming in IntelliSense. That would just be absolutely ridiculous. So I've only added this XAML namespace to our basically the XMLNS definition. So if you look here, right, like I'm only adding Prism region XAML, and that's basically what this has allowed me to do. So the things that need to be XAML based are in this, you know, namespace here, and so we only see the region manager. We don't pollute like everything, because that would just be crazy. And I think people will use this a little bit differently on forms than they do for WPF. But anyway, let's try to run this. I want to see if I can get this going here. View that. Wow, that's weird. Okay. Okay. Right. 2 failed. What? Why did we fail here? Ah, crap. I forgot about that. Well, let me see if I can revert this. Opening the Kraken. Discard. Oh, yeah, this was actually something else. I mean, I'm going to revert this for right now, but something I think we really should do, well, never mind this, because this is stuff I was playing with, but something that we really should do, I have always absolutely hated, Brian, that you say configure view model locator and then put the view model locator in here. It would be way more useful to have this configure view model locator like this, where you pass in the view and the view model type. So this is actually the delegate method that is getting passed back. And there are some reasons for that. What's that? Hold on. There are multiple method. Yes, I know that there are. I know there are. I feel like having this would be way more useful though, like for the factory anyway. Because you have, what is it, view model, location provider. So you have register, which nobody's ever going to use. I mean, you have the view model factory and the default view type to view model type factory or resolver. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Don't have to make any changes right now. Change all that. Okay, discard. Cool. All right, now I think I should be able to build. Now that I've reverted. So this was actually why I was changing things in here. Because right now we have like this whole bindable object nonsense and auto wire, and I'm getting rid of the auto wire, so that has to go as part of this PR anyway. Let's try to build this again. See what else I broke. I probably broke something else. I have no idea. I'm good at breaking things. Yeah. You know, like yesterday I went to their fridge and the refrigerator said, "What do you want now?" So I went to the scale and the scale said, "Get the hell off me, you're too fat." Ah, yes, okay. So all that needs to change. So we want to go back to navigation parameters. I hate mixing these namespaces. So I did kind of have to do this region navigation result because for region navigation, like it's not quite the same as normal navigation, right? Like we do have this navigation context. We are passing, well, okay, you get the navigation parameters, fine, whatever. Navigation parameters. Navigation parameters. But you get the navigation service, you get the URI. So there is a little bit more to what you are getting. Go to navigation context. Copy that. Okay. I don't know why every time I come into Visual Studio I have to repin this. It's very irritating. That was all over the place, wasn't it? Good grief. Navigation service. Region manager. Okay. I parameter. Oh, we don't care about that. That's just XML docs. Did it build? Oh, it looks like it built. Okay, let's try to actually run this. Hopefully I didn't break anything else. So then, while we're doing that, go to this. Go to definition. And go to definition. Brian, I have no idea what I'm planning on supporting right now. I mean, ultimately it would be great, but that means I kind of need stuff to, like, I need Xamarin Forms to give me APIs that I may not necessarily have. So I'll do what I can. Is Prism Forms Xamarin only? Well, yeah. So, I mean, Prism Forms is Prism for Xamarin Forms, specifically. That is kind of the point. I mean, if there was another framework that we'll call Fred, so let's say that there's a new C# application framework called Fred, and everybody starts going crazy about Fred, and I actually have potential clients for Fred, then I would invest the time to create Prism for Fred. It would be prism.fred. That would be really funny. I know I'm crazy. Alright, so we have this. Made this change. I actually like this change because I fixed where we can actually see the module state now. So this is really cool. If you don't know about this with modules, so I'm going to hit hello dialog module, and you notice that it has a dependency on hello page dialog module, because that's why it's listed right there. And then neither one of these are initialized. But I'm going to go ahead, we're going to tap hello dialog module to load it. And just like that, they were both initialized, and you see you have loaded the page dialog module. That is literally all that that page dialog module does, is just give us that alert when it's initialized, and now everything is initialized. Alright, so let's go to our new regions one, content view region. Where did we go? Okay. So we are in the delayed region creation behavior. Say that 3 times fast. Build the region. Okay. So we are going to get a region. Okay, so we're creating the region. So there's our region adapter. Let's look at our locals here. So we have our region adapter. And it is, by the way, a content view region adapter. So that is exactly what we expect, because this is a content view. And any day now. Right. So somehow that just triggered us to go to the region manager registration behavior. Okay. So we have set the host control. Region adapter base. Okay. For each key in behavior factory. Okay, so let's see where we land next. So we're back in the region manager registration behavior and on attached. Okay. So here's where we're going to hook to the region property changed. So is the region... That's the host control. I want the region name. Oh, so we're actually going to go into the start. So we should end up here. So the region already has a name. So we're not going to hook to this event, because there's no reason for us to hook to the event because we already have the name. Okay. And so let's go into here. So now we're going to try we're going to hook into this on updating regions, and then we're going to try register. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so this was also really fun. In WPF land, they have like this check access extension that, like, there's like a threading dispatcher or something, and it basically works with that. but that doesn't really exist as far as I can tell in Xamarin Forms land. Like, there is a dispatcher, but it's an iDispatcher that is like a total Xamarin construct. That made me cry a lot. Anyway, so let's see. So find region manager. So let's see what that is. That was null. Get attached region manager. That's probably going to also be null. Yep. So these are both null. So here's the problem. So I'm trying to figure out, like, it can't find the region manager because it hasn't been set yet. So I do that and we never come back. So we've never set, like, we've never added the region to the region manager because we never got back a region manager. I am totally missing a step. I just don't know what that is. So let's see here. So I'm going to bring this up over here so we can all take a look at it together. So here's what Brian sent me. Make that bigger. Whoa, too big. So, and this is in Prism application base. So just before we initialize modules, we create the shell, the application shell. Then we set the region manager for the shell. Then we update regions. So what I'm wondering is, do I need to come over here, behaviors, and we're going to say attach region manager behavior. And public class region page behavior factory. Oh, no. Region. Page. So what I want to do is I want to override page, and then what I want to do, do I need a whole behavior for it though? I feel that's a little silly. Well, I'm thinking of something like, what if I just do this? Region manager. Region page behavior factory. iRegion manager. Like, I feel it's way overkill to create like an actual thing for that. So let's just say region manager, or actually hold on. Regions, XAML, region manager, set region manager, page manager. So what if I do that? Now I'll come back over here. Container registry. Register. Actually, well, say singleton. iPage behavior factory. Okay. So what if we do that? Let's try to run that. Could it be that simple? It probably is. Now, there is something I don't like about this solution at all, which is that I have to give you a custom region page behavior factory thing. Alright, so let's bring this over here. This is the delay creation, so we know we're creating a region. We're not worried about that. Yeah, Death Knight. Sorry, I'm not as cool as Brian with his little stream avatars and everything. See, one of the things, Death Knight, is I actually do all of this from my Mac and not the PC, and the whole stream avatars only works off of a PC. God, that would be cool. That would be really cool. I would do the Spartan Mask all the time. I wouldn't give people the ability to control it. Whole voice mod and everything. Oh, that'd be fun. Alright. So we'll start monitoring. Yep. So we're gonna come over here. Where I want to go to is basically we want to see what happens right there. Yep. Never mind that. Okay. Nope, they're both still null.
Jithan1GHT just subscribed.
Alright. Yep, there it goes. Well, Death Knight, thank you there for the subscription, my friend. I do appreciate it. Make my dog an avatar. Good God. I don't know I could handle being attacked that much. I mean, if you remember from the beginning of the stream, the dog was going crazy. Just biting me, and I was like really jealous that, you know, I was talking to people and not paying attention to the dog. And the funny thing is, before I was streaming this morning, you know, the dog is sitting over in the corner just chewing on a bone or one of the various toys over here. And then as soon as I start streaming, it's like non-stop, like, pay attention to me, you know? Dog could eat all the other avatars. That would be funny. All right. So what I want to do, I think, is we're going to come back to this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. We're going to navigate away and go to another page. And now we'll come back. And we should hit our attach stuff here again. Okay, so we know we're good there. We know we're getting in here. You know, this is definitely not the problem that we're having. Okay, so now we're here. So let's take a look at this element. So here is our content view. What we want to look at, we should have the parent set here. And what we want to do is we want to walk the, oh, for crying out loud. See if I can go down one line and get the parent. Okay. So the parent is a stack layout. So basically what I need to do is I need to walk the parent until I get a page. Oh man. Crap. So what we did was we attached the region manager to we attached it to the page. Okay, so I'm going to try something different. Hopefully Brian doesn't think this is stupid, but whatever. If he does, he does. So I'm going to say we're going to get the region manager. If the region manager is null, then what we're going to do is we're going to set the region manager container locator dot container resolve I region manager. Say element dot set value SAML region manager property region manager, and then we're going to return the region manager. So I think maybe if we guard this, so that way, you know, that way we will set it the first time that we look for it. The region manager is a singleton anyway, so this kind of takes that whole behavior thing away. Like, we don't really need it. All right, here. So we're going to go down. And let's see where we end up here. Okay. So we are now... Oh, man. What on earth? So we want that. Should have put a breakpoint right there. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and hit continue. We'll navigate away, navigate back real quick. Okay. So why did we pop over here? We were right here. Region manager is null. So this is kind of my problem, I think, is we might actually be creating... I think we're creating the region a little too early. I think what we need to do is we need to walk the visual tree so let's go in here. No, that's the adapter. I want the behavior. Delayed region creation behavior. Okay. Okay, so I hear it. Okay. So I feel like what we need to do, so if you saw before, so we have basically, well, here, I'll just look at the page itself, right? I mean, it's not a terribly complex thing, but you have your region here. Its parent is the stack layout. Its parent hasn't been set yet. So I'm adding, like basically what's happening is the content view gets added to the stack layout. So it now has a parent. The stack layout is still getting constructed because we're adding other stuff, right? And it won't be until we're done building the stack layout before it gets added to the content page. And this is a very, very simple example. So basically what we need to do is we need a way to monitor for the content page. Like we need to wait until we get to the page. What if you modify the region manager attach property to set the region directly? So, I mean, here's the thing. If you come back to the whole partial view thing, which I know, Brian, I know you hated it. But if you come in here, so you actually notice that what I did for the partial view was, rather than taking a true or false, I literally took the page, and it solved a ton of problems, because with the page I now had the ability to just get this directly. I feel like the approach of why are we, like, I really shouldn't have to do this. I feel this is stupid. So a partial view Death Knight was the hacky way of getting regions, sort of. Basically, there was no navigation. It's just a static, like, so it is a region in a sense, but you don't get any navigation with it. You can't push other views into that region or anything like that. But what you could do is you could just have a view model that is bound to a component that goes into your page, and that is a self-contained region. It just, you can't do any navigation or anything that you can do in WPF land. So we want to get rid of that. We want full region support so you can do region navigation and everything else. Because there are a ton of, and I know Death Knight, I know you watch Brian's channel all the time, and you see all of the different things that you can do, right? Like, you can do things like you have a content panel or a content view in Xamarin Forms, and we're going to swap out what view is visible in that content area, right, or that content region, and be able to just, okay, here you go, right? For other more complex scenarios, right, like you might add multiple, so now you see multiple different views getting, or regions kind of getting added to some component, like a stack panel or a stack layout in Xamarin Forms. Or like I know Brian was doing an example the other week as he was working on his Pluralsight course, where he had like a tab control, and so he was kind of demonstrating that, hey, I have this list of contacts, and if I select a contact that already has a tab open, I navigate to that tab, but if I select a new contact, it creates a new tab. So it's all those different things that you can do with regions that we want to bring over to Xamarin Forms. Obviously, there are going to be differences where there need to be. Well, it's not my plural site courses that will be updated. They're Brian's. He's working on them. He just finished all the slides, so I think he's starting to record this week or something. I don't know. More spam. Yay. You know, as I've thought about it, going to the store lately, I don't even think you can find spam on the shelf, which is really funny because like everybody hates on spam all the time. It's actually pretty good. You know, I was talking to my family about this recently. Well, it wasn't that recent. It was like last year. But, you know, I was like, oh yeah, you know, get some spam musubi, and they're like, spam? Like, that's disgusting. I said, have you ever tried it? They're like, well, no. I said, then how can you call it disgusting if you've never tried it? Anyway, so I'm going to comment that out. Yeah, no, it's not bad. It really isn't. People like to hate on it, though. Definitely like to hate on it. Default, right? Okay. So I'm trying to figure out why. I'm going to run this again. Oh, well, yeah, you shouldn't eat spam cold. You should definitely heat it up. Definitely. Got us through World War II. You know, from everything I've heard, spam is like the official meat of Hawaii. Alright, where we go? Alright, here we go. So, we got a value. What? How did I not? What on earth just happened? Did we throw an exception or something? You just know that spam was given to the GLS in Europe, so it became a staple of their diet, yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure Brian should start streaming here soon, and if he does, we'll probably, you know, be rating him. Let's see here. Go ahead and hit continue. Oh, no. Oh, man. Okay. Content. Uh-oh. Yeah. I need to like actually change things out. Okay, so that forced the recreation. Well, that sucks. Like, this doesn't even make sense. Alright. Private iRegion Manager. Try get region. Visual element. Element. So I just want to see what the heck that is if I end up there. So we're gonna say try get region element. Run that again. You know, one of the things, Death Knight, that I think kind of gets overlooked a lot, right? You have things like Prism that are open source, and people go, well, where are the docs? But they never actually look at the code. And you will look, like, you will find more about the code base just by well, at least we got there. Oh, really? We still skipped that. But you'll find more just by going through code than anything else that you could ever do. So don't discount it. Shoot. Yeah, we're going to say we did create an attached behavior. So we gotta go to that, find region manager. So the element is definitely not null. Okay, I think I know what's going on. So occasionally, because all this stuff does like an incremental build, and occasionally what ends up happening is it doesn't fully refresh itself. So like when you do a build, it misses out, because like what was happening was that it was actually stopping on an empty line, which is maddening. Absolutely bloody maddening. So let's try doing a clean, and then we'll build from scratch. So it'll take longer to build, but it should alleviate the issue that we were having. we'll build eventually here. Okay. We do. Oh no, it's still going. Like, you have to check really close sometimes to see what it's doing. But it is actually going if you look really, really close. I mean, you look at this and you're like, okay, the build's done, right? There it goes. All right. There we go. So now we're copying everything over to the device and deploying. Did we just... We did. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Thank you for the follow there. What is that? Is it level 1? Is it level 1s? I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that, but thank you for the follow. Let's see. Is it Milosh? Yeah. Well, thank you for the follow, my friend. Alright, so our visual element, so we have our content view. It is... Okay, but the region manager is empty. Why is it empty? It shouldn't have been empty, for crying out loud. Oh no, because we haven't stepped into it. Duh. Alright, so here's our get region manager. We're going to do our try get. Okay. So we see the region manager is null. Okay, so now we have that. Now we're going to set this on the element. And we're going to return our region manager. So our region manager here is not null now. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. So I want to look in here. So in our... I thought we added it. What's our... So we still don't have any regions? I thought we just added it though. we should have added it right here. Okay, so I'm going to try something crazy. I'm going to come in here. So I've got this navigate command. So we are going to try to push a region in here. And we're going to take a look at the region manager in here. Oh, okay, it did get added. So here's our region. So I have a single active region named content region. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of breakpoints here, because that's going to get irritating as hell. Hello from region B. Hello from... Beautiful. So we weren't doing anything crazy. Our region basically just has a label. Well, technically there are two labels. There is a message here too. So let's do this. Is there a way I can... No. Can't, whatever. Okay. So I'm going to region demo page. So we're going to say region A message equals this is awesome. Okay, we're going to do hot reload. So it did a hot reload. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to say region A. Region A didn't work. Nothing worked. Oh, it killed me. Hot reload sucked. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. We'll try doing a build. So having this working, so that way when we raid Brian in a few minutes, we raid him, to be able to say that, hey, we actually have working regions in Xamarin Forms is going to be pretty awesome. Okay, so again, here's hello from region B, region C, region A. Did that not... Alright. Poop. Alright. So let's come in here. Oops. We want to see what is our target. Okay, that's region B. That's what we want. Now for region A. Oh, it didn't refresh it. Okay. So we're going to do a quick rebuild here. Okay. Building. There's a lot that it has to build. I mean, look at how many projects we have in here. 13 projects. I mean, granted, 2 of them we don't really care about, but for, I mean, just as we're going to Android or iOS, like whatever our target platform is, you still have to build 11 projects. We're asking it to do a lot. Quite a bit, actually. All right. So close. So very close. Any year now it will finish. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to try deploying this now. So it seemed last time it just did a straight up deploy. It didn't diff that change that we made to our view. So as we were trying to navigate to region A, we were just getting plain old region A. We weren't getting our query string parameter. All right. Let's pull this out here. Come on. Content view region. What do we have? Let's view C. Cool. And alright, so now we have the string that we expect with our message. Well, we only got hello from region A. So let's take a look at that real quick. Go back to region B here. Let's take a look at our model base. Oh, that's actually really strange. You know what? Binding message. That's very, very strange because it seems like it's not picking up the binding. Alright, I'm gonna put a breakpoint in our onNavigated 2 because we should have actually seen the no message provided, which we weren't. So let's see. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is kind of the next issue, is our onNavigated 2 is not getting called. So I'll have to kind of see. So it's coming from here, which comes from here. In our region navigation service. Alright. So let's take a look here. So I have that. Well, that's strange. Our view is definitely okay. Alright, well, I have a little bit of work to do there, but we're very, very, very close. Very close. So, we have some working navigation. We got to get our navigation callbacks for like iRegionAware, because can't use iNavigation where we're already using that in the navigation namespace, and we need slightly different context. There's slightly different signature for regions, so it's going to be iRegion aware. It is what it is, people. All right, so in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed. We are going to go ahead and raid Mr. @Brian Lagunas, who is in progress right now. So do stay on. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and hope you will join me over there on Brian's channel. And we'll see you probably tomorrow. Is it not? Why is this not working? There we go. This is not doing its thing like it's supposed to. Here, hold on. What is going on? Let's see if I can... Are raids broken? Or do I have to do it from here? I have to do it from here now, I think. We're going to start the raid. So it's not letting me do it from the chat. So let's see here. Rating in 2, 1, and we'll see you over there. Oh, maybe it is, Mortal Box. I think you might be right.
Could be only one. Oh my gosh, but we have a raid at the same time. What do we do? What do we do? We have to go for the raid. We have to go for